I believe something derogatory about myself, for example, oh, I'm not good enough, oh, I'm not, worthy of this or that, then what will happen? My brain will start looking for evidence. It will start creating those evidences to prove you that, okay, you're not good enough. But when you have a different belief, a positive, empowering belief, then you know that now your brain has a message. If you have any kind of sadness or anything that affects your lungs, if you are angry, that impacts your liver. If you are fearful, too much of worry is there. You overthink things. It affects your kidney. So there is a correlation, very very strong correlation.
Welcome once again to the another episode of Indian Warrior Talk Show, and we have a very special guest today, Ocean Commander Sadhana Giri ma'am, who is an author and a veteran of the Indian Navy, and also is a yoga teacher and is a Fit India ambassador. So we're going to learn a lot from ma'am. So thank you once again for joining, ma'am. Welcome.
Thank you, Himanshu. It is always a pleasure to interact with you. Um, I really applaud you for your good work. Yeah. So I'm looking forward to our interaction.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you. Once we have seen that recently you have written a book which is Emotions Decoded. So let's talk something about the emotions, which is a very less topic nowadays because we see that the being emotionally intelligent and emotionally strong is a very important thing in today's life. A lot of cases are there, a lot of distractions are there in today's world. So can you guide us on how we can master the emotions?
Yeah. So can you guide us? First of all, let me tell you why I wrote this book. Okay. Emotions Decoded. Um, if you see, emotions have been part of human life ever since the life originated. Okay, ever since we talk about human species, the emotions have been there associated with human species, and maybe we name those emotions in different ways, but we all experience the same emotions. All right. So that's the thing about emotions, that it has always been there since time immemorial. It's not that it has recently been part of human body, and it always will be in the future also. And in the schools, we learn everything. We learn about addition, subtractions. We learn literature. We learn history. We learn geography, science, this or that, but we don't learn about emotions and how to deal with emotions. And this is one area I thought it's very important in the present context, because we are having less and less connection, less and less interaction. One-on-one interaction is missing because everything is digital nowadays. That level of connection, okay, the not the virtual one, that offline connection, okay, the personal connection is somewhere missing because people are getting busier. They want to earn a lot of money. They want to lead the best life. They want to fulfill their dreams, and rightly so. Yes, we all have that right to do, to pursue our dreams, to live our best lives. But somewhere down the line, with technology, with the new things coming up, we are losing that touch with each other, that human connection. And one thing that is suffering is emotions, and that's the reason. Plus, I've always had this experience that no matter what profession you belong to, even if you're a soldier, soldiers are considered the toughest people, or you're a doctor, or anyone doing the toughest of jobs. I believe, in fact, that emotions are always part of them. Some emotion or the other is always guiding, the individual, whatever profession that they choose. For example, a doctor is, always in a is service oriented. Okay, is dutiful, and so is a soldier. He's filled with pride. So pride is an emotion which is predominant in a soldier. Okay, pride for the country. Okay, and that jazba to do anything for the country, and that's not just on the field, but even otherwise. You see any soldier or anyone remotely, in fact, even remotely connected with uh, a soldier, but with national pride, you will see that person filled with this big emotion of pride for the country. nationalism. So that is emotion that I know. Plus, I've seen different sorts of emotions even with soldiers. I've seen life from close quarter, life and death. uh, I've seen my subordinates losing their lives. I've seen their families in desperation. i've seen uh, I've seen my own you know my own grandmother, grandparents losing their life, and how attached I was to my grandparents. And so I've always been in touch with emotions, and I think it's a crucial thing to teach the next generation. And in fact, even some of the population which is totally focused on profession, and for them, profession is all about climbing the next ladder, no matter how their subordinates or their peers feel about them, or no matter how distressed team members are. They just want to climb their ladders, and it's very important that as good leaders, as good organizations, people have good emotional intelligence. People are high on EQ than IQ. It's the EQ which will take you, farther. That's what I feel, because ultimately all human decisions are made with emotions, and later on they are justified by logic. So that's the reason. There's a whole lot of reason why I wrote this book, Emotions Decoded. I have it with me, and I think it's a must read for everyone aspiring for armed forces, the aspirational leaders, and those leaders who are leading large teams. So I have served under lots of leaders, and all kinds of leaders, good or bad. Some who inspired me, and some were those who just earned their brownie points from their seniors, but were not good enough for their subordinates, their juniors. So I have seen all, and have learned a lot of things from them, and so that's there is a whole lot of motivation why I wrote this book. So
So, do you think that the environment has any role to play in shaping our personality? Because it's all connected, right? So, emotions, personality.
to a large extent, environment does shape our personality. We always, as children, look up to elders, our parents, first of all, and people around us, the elders. In the way that we deal with emotions, in the way we deal with people, how we interact, how we deal with setbacks, how we deal with anything in life, which is not very desirable, which is unpleasant, with failures, all of those things. We always learn. However, um, as we grow, we know that even our parents, even our the surroundings that we were brought up in was not perfect, and was not an ideal situation created in a lab. Okay, we are all human beings. It was all random. That the kind of people that we met were not chosen by us. It was like we were gifted with that, and we all have that choice to become something different than what we were brought up to be. If it was not in the context that it was not very conducive, it was not very healthy environment, and certainly it does play, but we all have a choice after a certain period in our lives to become a different person, to react or respond in a different way. And Yes, so what you can do is you can observe the great leaders. You can observe how people respond. For example, people, how they respond in games, how they respond. You see, if you have any of your famous cricketer, you will notice how they behave. What are their traits, how do they respond to adverse situations, or any of your, for that matter, any of your idols, the present day idols, prime minister, president, or whoever it is that you follow, you admire. You can see how they respond to certain situations, and you can learn from it, and you can also adopt it until it becomes your own personality. You can
We often say that if you sit with a five millionaires, you'll be the sixth millionaire. So, it's
Hmm.
all about the environment in which we live, right? So, if you live with a good person, you are definitely going to be a good person.
Absolutely, there is no two ways about it. There is no two ways about it. And especially young children know what they say is my family members are like this, my family members are like that. Okay, they may be like that, but this is a challenge that I'm approached with, especially young aspirants who come up with these situations where they are not happy with their environment. You can always choose your environment. For example, if you don't have a conducive environment for your development, why don't you just go find out a library? Okay, where you can go sit and prepare yourself, prepare for your exams. Okay, interact with good people. So you always can find your tribe. They say that your vibes attract your tribe, your kind of people. So it's all about focusing on who you want to be. Okay, and when you're clear there, then you can be whoever you want to be.
Okay, ma'am, emotions are the key to your health. So, does emotion has any role to play on our health also?
Yeah. um, I'll tell you how I came up to this realization. Long ago, say 10 years ago, almost 10 years ago, I was dealing with certain, you know, I will not say disease, but certain anomaly in my body. And I realized that it was, I was suffering from that because of certain emotions that my body was holding on to. So uh, every emotion, is held at a particular place in your body. We have different organs, we have different chakras. Okay, they are the energy centers, and they can be good energy as well as bad energy, which can be stored there. So I was holding some kind of insecurity and fear, maybe about my career, my life, where it is going, and all that. And so I was dealing with gynec issues a lot, and to an extent that it was really getting very irritating. And then that was also a stage um, where I realized that how spirituality is important, how being in touch with yourself is important. I was chasing some ambitions. Okay, I was chasing. Um, I was doing some course. I wanted to upgrade myself. I wanted to achieve this or that. But I realized it is so important to take pauses, regular pauses. And in fact, every day that the routine that I have, every day I have that routine where I take a pause, get in touch with myself, and analyze as to where I am in terms of emotions, where I am in terms of my feelings, how am I feeling, my body physically, emotionally, spiritually, mentally. I take stock of myself, and not only take stock of myself, I also um, like I keep myself in a garage. So my morning time is my garage where I repair myself every single day, and I do certain activities which help me center myself. So the origin was that, and when I was dealing with those issues 10 years ago, I take refuge in certain spiritual courses, certain courses from Sri Sri Ravi Shankar. I also did course from happiness course, advanced course, where I learned meditation, yoga, and then courses from Brahma Kumaris, and lots of other avenues that I had to know why I'm doing this, what is the purpose of my existence. Because goal is one thing, but okay, I want to be this, I want to do armed forces uniform, I want to become an officer in the armed forces, okay, and so on and so forth. But all that was fine. But what about your ultimate purpose, especially in the context that I had to leave this career because it was shock service, and where am I going in life? So what am I going to do later on? And so all those questions I asked myself, and these were the avenues which provided me the answers, or started to provide me the answers. And that was the origin of my understanding of what was happening to my body and how emotions are related to your physical ailments. So it turns out that everything related with your gynec and lower abdomen, area is to do with fear and insecurity. Okay, if you have any kind of sadness or anything that affects your lungs, if you are angry, that impacts your liver. If you are fearful, too much of worry is there. You overthink things. It affects your kidney. So there is a correlation, very very strong correlation. And not only that, I have read, I have also analyzed people. uh, when you read a lot, when you experience so many things, courses and all, see, it changes your DNA, it changes the way you look at the world, and you start observing, oh, this person has this, and then you start correlating with how they have lived their life, all that, and you start connecting your dots. So I believe strongly that it is definitely related. And there are certain books that I read that were eye opening. Some of them which I can name, and in fact I have named them in my book also. And it is, you can heal yourself. by Louis Hay, Biology of Belief by Bruce Lipton. Lipton was a you know was a scientist, and his book is remarkable in the way he says that your thoughts can change your DNA. It's not that your genes has just 5% control on your life, on how you live your life, how it turns out, your disease, your health, everything. The rest of it is all about how you lead your life. For example, suppose just an example, if somebody's parents are overweight, okay, now they are overweight because they have adopted certain kind of lifestyle. I can say maybe they eat a lot of fries, maybe they eat a lot of sugary food, a lot of carbs. And if the child now is mature enough, can make a decision not to have that kind of lifestyle, change the lifestyle as adopted by his or her parents, and definitely that child will have a different kind of shape of the body also will change, because the lifestyle is now different. So it all depends on your lifestyle, your emotions, your thoughts. So you see, genes has you can change your genes. That's what Bruce Lipton always says. You can change your genes by believing in something. So if I believe I'm healthy, if I believe that I'm going to climb a mountain, I will certainly climb that mountain, because every part of my body will believe in that truth. And there's another way that we understand it. It is confirmation bias. If we believe something, the brain will look for evidence to prove that okay, it is right. So if I believe something derogatory about myself, for example, oh, I'm not good enough, oh, I'm not worthy of this or that, then what will happen, my brain will start looking for evidence. It will start creating those evidences to prove you that okay, you're not good enough. But when you have a different belief, a positive empowering belief, then you know that now your brain has a message that okay, um, you are worthy of good things in life, you can be successful, or that you are a healthy person. And your brain will start um, behaving, your brain will start finding signals or giving you signals that yes, what you think, what you believe is right. Okay, so it all depends on what you think, how you feel, and that's why emotions are important.
Yes. I think there is a very good saying also. We are the product of our thoughts, right? So,
Yeah.
and the thing about which you mentioned recently, it is also mentioned in the book, The Law of Attraction.
So maida is one, sugar is one, and then there's palm oil also, which you oil is also crucial. So try to stick to cold press oil, or the oils that we've always had in India, like sarson ka tel, mustard oil, or sesame oil, or groundnut oil. These oils, and especially look for good brands, or good or say they are cold press. It is even better. So these are the things, and
Also,
why this is happening. Yes, of course, sugar. So it is also happening because the certain Western fast food chains, for example, McDonald's and KFC, okay, Subway, they claim to be healthy, or they cater to the taste more than the health. They want money in the pockets of the owners, but they are not. They just don't care about the health of the people. Okay, they just don't care about it. It's a fast food, um, you know, and you buy it, you eat it. In fact, you are in a way paying for a poison, slow poison. Okay, to a person who's not even bothered about your health or anything. So India is a diabetic capital because these people find that it's easy to market themselves in India, and we become a slave because we think everything which comes from the Western world is wow. Okay, we forget our origin. We don't have pride in our culture. We don't take pride in our food system. Um, the Ayurveda, the way it teaches us to eat, things it teaches us to eat, as per seasonal conditions and all of those things, as per regional conditions. So you see, whenever in history we have devalued our origin, we have not realized our culture and taken pride in our culture, held onto our culture, we have always become a slave. So today we are a modern slave to the Western world companies like these, And I think it's a high time that we just open our eyes and look as to what is going on around us. It's kind of a mental
Definitely.
slavery that we are in.
Yeah.
Okay, and we should open our eyes to it. Remember about Barcelona? Yeah, we had lots of Barcelona. We had lots of Arabic food, and they were healthy. Like they also have falafel and lots of stuffing, which were healthy. But certain other places, I remember there were a lot of Indian restaurants and quite easily available, to my surprise. And some of them were owned by Bangladeshis, some like Pakistanis also. So they were all
Yeah, yeah.
Indian, labeled as Indian food, but they were owned by our neighboring states as well. People from our neighboring states.
More,
So yeah.
more than Indian, I think they were Bangladeshis and Pakistani. I went to Valencia, Barcelona, Genova, and Rome also. I went, and Vatican City. So all these belts, wherever we don't go to inside the cities, we only go to the main market, which are located near to the port, right? So it's we're not going inside, totally inside, so that we'll find the good restaurant there. So whatever the things available to us, we'll have. Definitely on ship, we have the Indian food and all. But when we are going to explore the city, at least we want something to try of their own. Whatever. Ma'am, you have been also a yoga teacher, and you have also trained a lot of students and you mentees. So, but I think yoga is one of the easiest thing to do, but hardest thing to start for anyone, right? So, if you would agree to my point, so because we know yoga doesn't take anything; it just need a little space and a mat, and you're done. But I think why most of the people are not able to start. So, can you
Yoga.
give us any tip from where we can start, and what are some of the basic poses we can start with and build our physical health?
Tell you why yoga is good for you. Certainly, running, gymming is also important. Once in a while, you must do that. In fact, you should at least go to the gym, lift weights at least twice a week, um, run at least once a week. But yoga, I think you must do 3 to 4 days in a week. And why? I'll tell you, because there is a coordination. Your movements are coordinated with your breath. Okay? And when you do that, you are supposed to be in the present moment. Running में क्या है कि okay, you're running and maybe your thoughts go here and there and everywhere. Maybe in the gym also, you're doing those mechanical movements, but then what happens is your thoughts are elsewhere. Okay? But in yoga, when you are doing those movements, you know that it has to be coordinated. Uh, Whenever you're contracting your body, you're shrinking yourself, it has to be exhalation. Whenever you're expanding yourself, it has to be inhalation. So you have to be mindful of that. And to do that, you know, yoga is like yoga teaches you to do that. You have to be present to have that kind of mindfulness. And I think it's a journey. Once you start, you get addicted to it. In fact, like any other sport, but trust me, start yoga and you'll get addicted to it. You will feel so calm, so composed, and your thinking will be clear. You will achieve more things in less time, and it is good. It is good. You are connected to the universe. You feel grounded. Oh, you don't need big things to be happy. You see the sun, moon, the trees, the sky, the rivers, the birds, and you're happy. Okay, so yes, so you have to start. You just have to start, and to do that, maybe join a community to begin with. Start with a community of people, of like-minded people who are into it, and maybe you will also start developing that kind of interest. Many people who don't want to spend any money, they think yoga is वो बाबा रामदेव का ही योगा जो उनको पता है वही है योगा. But yes, Baba Ramdev, I am so grateful that people like him has popularized it. However, he is one individual. There's only limited that he can do. वो सब कुछ तो नहीं सिखा सकते ना. जो वो सिखा सकते थे वो उन्होंने सिखाया है. वो स्टेज में आके जो भी वो करते हैं या जहाँ भी जितना भी वो जो सोशल मीडिया पे है, यहाँ वहाँ यूट्यूब पे, एक लिमिट है उसकी. वो ज़्यादा नहीं सिखा सकते. But when you are enrolled in a class, when you are in a community, you learn much more. Okay? One on one, you learn much more. So yoga was part of my life, like I said, 10-15 years ago, but it was very intermittent. I used to do yoga very intermittently. When I was young, my first pregnancy, yoga was nowhere. Maybe I used to just take a walk. I used to swim also till last month of my pregnancy. I swam because I thought it's the best, most relaxing thing to do. Even in swimming, we have this coordinated breath. So somehow that this breathing thing always calmed me down. So that was my way of leading my life when I was younger. My second one, there was a 6 years of gap. Here is when I started yoga. Here's when I was a vegetarian by birth, by how I was brought up. And for some time, because my husband is a Bengali and he eats non-veg, and you know, and in their culture, like everyone eats Bengali, no matter where you come from, what you are. So I started for some time, but I realized it's not meant for me. If you never seen that in your family, if you've not eaten, maybe your body doesn't accept it; it rejects. So there were things which were happening that my body was rejecting that kind of food, and I left it. I left. So during my second pregnancy, I was more vegan. I was I was doing yoga. Okay, uh, yeah. So by then I had changed. So my son is now 8 years old, and from 8 years, it has been part of my life. Only now, past 3 months, more so, 4 months, more so, because I was like, नहीं, अब तो योगा ही है जो आगे तक जा सकता है. और नॉट दैट यू एज एंड दिस थिंग. अगर मुझे पहले भी ऐसा माहौल मिला होता, बहुत यंग डेज में मिला है, जो भी है शुरू से ही रहा है, बट बहुत इंटरमिटेंट रहा है. सो और अच्छा माहौल होता, मतलब और सॉलिडिफाई हो जाता, और अच्छा होता कि मैं बहुत शुरू से करती. बट नेवरदलेस, बेटर लेट देन नेवर, एंड आई एम वेरी हैप्पी. बहुत ज़्यादा सी आई एम एन ICF कोच, बहुत ज़्यादा इसमें मेरे क्लाइंट्स नहीं हैं. It's like people come and they request, and I'm there. They pay my fees and I'm there. But that apart, it's not so much a part of my profession. I am trying to integrate in my coaching, because I have realized the power it has to transform you. Okay, on every level, on mental, emotional, spiritual, physical, okay, professional, relationship, everything. It has a lot of impact, profound impact on all these aspects of life, and that is why, even though I've learned my practices from ICF, which is an international coaching body, and their courses are really expensive, I want to integrate somehow, get the Indianized version of coaching, include that, blend that in my coaching practices, and it will come. Eventually, it will come. I love my country. When I lived abroad for 2 years, because my husband was deputed and I had recently retired, I lived there and I realized how beautiful my country is. I always loved my country, but I realized then how beautiful my country is. Everything is beautiful. You find all kinds of climate here, all kinds of weather. I mean, and you have
realize
different.
the importance of anything start when it is not with us, right? You realize the importance of anything when it is not with us.
Very true, very true. And when I was there, life was good there. Life was very good. It used to be minus 40, 50 sometimes. Okay, I've seen that kind of life. It was different. It was, and people over there loved you also. But I realized, यार हमारे कंट्री से अच्छा कोई कंट्री नहीं. इतना सुंदर है और इतना सब कुछ है. It has to offer. It has everything to offer to everyone and every starter of our society. एक गरीब से गरीब भी अच्छे से खा सकता है, और अमीर की तो बात ही छोड़ो, कोई भी अपने आप को एस्टैब्लिश कर सकता है. तो बहुत सुंदर है हमारा कंट्री, बहुत बढ़िया है. आई एम सुपर प्राउड. एंड मैंने वो तब रियलाइज किया, ऐसा हो सकता था कि मैं बाहर जा सकती थी उसके बाद with my profession and everything, but I somehow didn't feel like, especially after I lived abroad for 2 years. So, and that is why I want to bring all these things, the best things, through my coaching to my clients, to my coachees, mentees. I want to give them the treasure that India has to offer, and for that I learned yoga from the scriptures that it has to teach about yoga, from Ayurveda. All of these things I learned, and I'm also on the path to learning Gita, and I treasure all of these things, and I think it has everything to offer to you. You don't get depressed. You won't ever get depressed if you take refuge of yoga, Ayurveda, lessons, messages from Gita. Even though I've done the best of coaching. I've done coaching from the best of coaching bodies, but I think these are the treasures, and I value it, and I want to blend it and give it to my clients.
Correct. And one thing which has surprised me, ma'am, about you is like uh, we should always be eager to learn, no matter the age is, no matter which position we are. We should always be, we should always have an empty bucket, right? We should always be like an empty bucket, and wherever we can gain the knowledge, we can gain the information, and we should do that. And whatever the things you have told, it always shows your eagerness to learn. Like you mentioned about a lot of the courses, a lot of the things. So it's good, and I think we should always be like that only, because there is no age of learning, and we should always be open to learn.
Yeah,
And a
yeah.
lot of
In
things
fact,
we discussed.
my family members always in a kind of in a lighter way. They इस हमेशा पढ़ती रहती है हमेशा. इसके courses तो खत्म ही नहीं होते हैं, कभी नहीं खत्म होंगे. Please take it as part of my life, as part of my personality, that I'm always going to learn till the end of my life. I'm going to be a developing person, like developing nation, developed nation. I'm going to be a developing person, and I'm okay. I'm fine with it. I want to learn. I want to. I just want to upgrade always. Have the best of knowledge and serve the people through my knowledge.
Of course, ma'am. And I was listening to someone's story before 2 days, and उसमें उन्होंने mention किया था कि they change their house every 2 to 3 years, because what happens when we live at a certain place, we are surrounded by certain mindset, right? So
Yeah.
2 साल 3 साल हो जाता है तो हमारा mindset वैसा ही बनने लगता है, and वहाँ की सारी चीजें हम सीख चुके होते हैं. So I know it's not very easy for everyone to change their house every 2 to 3 years, but whatever the things which we can do to change and to start learning the new things, we should. So उन्होंने mention किया कि they change their house every 2 to 3 months and go to a new place, new surrounding, meet the new people, and वहाँ से कुछ सीखने का. So मतलब they try to learn new things along with their family. So I think it is very important. We should be an open book and always be ready to learn, like you. And ma'am, in the end, would you like to give any message to the youth who are like on the path of achieving their dreams and still a lot to achieve for them in their life? So एक उनके लिए inspirational message आप.
My message is that अगर आपने सोच लिया तो आप वो करके ही रहो.